Alan Coleman, thanks so much for joining us here at Lords this afternoon. We're sitting here ahead of the Blast game. When this interview goes out, who knows? But Alan, thanks for joining us. I wanted to get together with you to have a catch up. Plenty of changes in the cricket department in recent weeks, so I thought it was probably timely for a catch up. Let's kick off with the head coach's role. Obviously, Richard Johnson has parted company with the club as first team coach. Can you perhaps expand upon that?
So we obviously had to make the very difficult decision to relieve Jono of his duties about a month or so ago now. As I said, it was an incredibly tough decision. It's been a huge pleasure of mine and an honour to work with Jono so closely for such a number of years, and he's done a great job leading the team through very, very difficult circumstances. We all know of the financial restrictions that the club's been under and lack of overseas players that we've been able to recruit at certain times, and he's done an outstanding job to marshal the team during that period. Unfortunately, we felt that especially this season we hadn't progressed in the way that the team should have done, and the performances on the field have been evident to sort of describe that. So unfortunately that was why we had to make the difficult decision to make a change. As I said, we thank Jono immensely for all the work that he's done. He's really put his heart and soul into the role. He is a Middlesex great of recent times from a playing and to lead the club to a promotion is one thing that not many coaches have done. So huge credit to him in the role. And as I said, we've had to make a tough decision to move forward and move in a different direction with the lead coach role.
Absolutely, mirror those sentiments entirely. I guess when one door closes, another one obviously opens, and that led to the appointment of Dane Vilas as interim first team coach. Dane obviously joins us until the end of this season. What is it in Dane that you saw as the perfect replacement for Jono?
We saw real leadership from Dane. He's not had a huge experience of coaching in domestic cricket at the level at which we play, but his leadership characteristics were clear to see as captain of Lancashire. A very tough competitor on the field, and we were looking for a slightly harder edge to the cricket that we played on the field, as well as a balance of the personal supportive nature that he brings around the group. And we just felt that a fresh voice from outside was really, really important with where we were. There's no connection to Middlesex cricket with Dane. He's played his cricket in South Africa and at Lancashire, so just a real freshness to the approach, just to hopefully motivate the team and the coaching group until the end of the season. It's worth saying that we will run a process at the end of the year, so Dane is interim first team coach until the end of the season, and then we will look to run a process for a permanent appointment beyond that time. So but Dane's obviously come in and had a very positive impact on the group so far. I'm really pleased with what we've seen from him.
Coley, you mentioned that Dane obviously joins an established coaching team already, led of course by Rory Cootes as club coach. He's got Tim Murtagh and Ian Salisbury alongside him, two coaches that know the players exceptionally well. Did you feel that was an area perhaps of the dynamic in that coaching group that was missing, was that real leadership and drive and fighting mentality? You've got the coaching skills there, but Dane will bring a different dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the three coaches you mentioned, Rory, Ian Salisbury, Tim Murtagh, are both all incredibly skilled technically and tactically for cricket at this level. So I didn't feel that we were missing anything with all skills covered there. And didn't necessarily feel that we were missing anything with the leadership, but just that a slightly different voice and a change in direction of the leadership was what was necessary, and a different style to the one that Jono employed in the team and with the team, and that's why we lent towards Dane's style. We did speak to other candidates as well. It wasn't just that Dane was brought in. We did speak to a number of other potential coaches before we settled on Dane coming into the role. So we did look far and wide just to try and get the right voice into the change room, and with Dane we believe that we've got that.
Absolutely. I guess changes didn't stop there. We've had some changes to the captaincy roles at the club as well. Stevie Eskenazi stepping down and Toby Rowan-Jones being replaced as captain of the T20 and 4-day side respectively. Give us some insight into that, please, if you could.
Yeah, so two sort of slightly different scenarios here. First of all, Steve Eskenazi asked to step down as captain, approached us. There's some things going on in his life outside of cricket at the moment which are very, very important to him, and important that he gets right from that perspective. He's done an outstanding job leading this young T20 team. In 2022 we set on a different path with our T20 cricket after years of not really being happy with what we've seen. We've started to see some improvement. We've got some experience and appearances into a group of young players now, and we believe we've now got a team that is ready to compete. And Steve's done a great job in navigating that and building a great foundation of that group, and really appreciative of his work. It's a brutal game, T20. Within 2.5, 3 hours you've won or lost, and it's a tough one to take with the games coming thick and fast. So he's done a great job to lead this group during that period. With Toby, we felt that Toby's led from the front brilliantly in 4-day cricket for a number of years now, not only with performances but with his attitude and his leadership style. And we felt that alongside the change of coach that we agreed with Toby that a change of captaincy was the right thing in 4-day cricket from that perspective. As I said, he's led brilliantly from the front. A huge admirer of him and his leadership, and he's hugely respected in the team. So I can't thank either of them enough for the work that they've done. But also, this doesn't mean that they step back from leadership. They're both senior players in the changing room, and we really expect them to both step up and support Lewis Duploy, who's taken on both roles. Their leadership and their experience in those roles is going to be vital to support Lewis as we move through the rest of this summer.
I suppose Lewis replacing them, he's someone you looked at Derbyshire the last year of his 5 years. I think he spent there. He was captain of the side. In Lewis, you see all the right qualities as a captain of this club. His 4-year appointment back last year, was that with a view to some kind of ongoing captaincy role within the club?
Yeah, we always identified the need for some succession planning with our leadership. We had Toby and Eskew doing those roles, and we were very conscious that Lewis would be able to perform that role for us as and when we needed it. So it was part of the leadership succession planning. Obviously, you've got to get the timing right on these decisions, and timing is never perfect in professional sport. But yeah, delighted that we were able to bring in an experienced captain to lead both of these formats, and really excited with where Lewis could take the team.
I suppose one of the other positives of Stevie and Toby is you now get them as players without the burden of captaincy, and you've got two hugely influential players in both formats there.
We have, and captaincy is really tough. Really tough in the modern game. You're out there trying to perform your own skills, tactically lead the team and motivate them under high levels of scrutiny. So it's a really difficult role, and they've both done it brilliantly. And the fact that, as you said, they're both standout cricketers for us across a number of formats, and it's just great to have them with the group back into the playing group, as it were. And we really hope to lean on them both for some exceptional performances as we move through the rest of the season.
On to playing matters. I'm going to kick off with overseas players. It's never easy as a director of cricket getting that box ticked. Commitments of players worldwide is more now than it ever has been, and it's almost impossible to get a player for a long period of time and have them in the group and really get them embedded into the club. But one that's managed to do that is Kane Williamson. I think we initially signed Kane with a view to him playing at least 10 games of Blast cricket. He's played all 12 so far, and he's scheduled to play the last 2. So great to have him around for the whole campaign. How do you sum up Kane's impact on not only on the pitch but also in the dressing room?
Yeah, Kane's an outstanding cricketer and an outstanding person. We've really benefited from that off the field. As you said, he was not contracted to play all 14 games. He will end up playing all 14, all being well, and that's testament to him and the character that he is and the cricket that he wants to play. So, and as we said right at the very start when we signed Kane, these are the types of players that we want to be associated with as a club. We've had a couple of years away from overseas players, as we all know, and to be able to introduce one of the world's greatest batters of this generation in Kane Williamson to our team has had such benefit not only on the field but off the field, and looking forward now to seeing him in some championship cricket as we move towards the end of the season. Obviously we lose him to the London Spirit for August, but great to have him with us till the end of July and then through September.
Yeah, we'll come on to talk about the championship campaign because that's still very much alive after our win up at Leicester. But on overseas players, Josh Little, I guess, whilst Kane has been an ever-present, Josh the opposite. We always knew that Josh would have commitments elsewhere with Ireland and domestically in Ireland. I know Josh has settled in brilliantly well as a cricketer, and he trained with us over the winter. What have you made of Josh's impact, and how frustrating has it been that he's been kind of in and out, if you like, with commitments and through injury?
Yeah, I mean, Josh has settled in fantastically well. It's a group that he knows well. He's been around us for a little while now, and obviously his sort of contract is slightly different to Kane's in that he's with us for a lot longer during the season in terms of his training and his preparation for our cricket and for Ireland's cricket. Josh's impact's been great. He's an exciting left-arm seamer. It's great to be able to give him a home and somewhere that he feels like he's at home, and that he's part of the group, because when you live the franchise life that he has lived, you sort of bounce from competition to competition, and it can't be easy for a young man to do that. So we've loved having Josh around. We always knew that Ireland, the provincial cricket in Ireland and their international cricket takes precedence, and that was part of the agreement that we did with Josh when we signed him. Unfortunately, injury has hampered him a little bit. He picked up an injury in one of the Ireland games that he played, and that had some impact on his availability. So that has been a shame. We haven't seen him for as many games as we thought we would. We'd never thought we'd see him for all 14, but we haven't seen him for as many as we thought we would, mainly due to injury. But when he's been with us, it's been great to have him, and hoping for some impact in our remaining games.
Four other players that I wouldn't say their futures remain uncertain, because that's not the case at all, but four other players whose contracts are due up for renewal at the end of this year: Toby Rowland-Jones, Luke Coleman, Josh DeCares and Joe Cracknell, all up for renewal. Can you give us any insight as to the status of each of those, maybe not individually and names, but where are we at with ongoing negotiations with them?
Yeah, so as you rightly say, all four of those are out of contract. We've got verbal agreements with two of those players already in place, and they'll be announced very, very shortly, which is great news, and conversations remain ongoing with the others. So the thing with contracts is that they're never kind of a sort of a hard and fast rule as to when they get signed. We know that players are able to go and talk to other counties, and if our players are attracting interest from other counties, then that's a positive. So yeah, hopefully we'll see some more progress, but as I said, two verbally agreed at the moment, and hopefully some more good news to come after that.
Good to hear, Al. Three players that aren't enjoying such good news, regrettably: Blake Cullen, Seb Morgan and Ishan Kaushal, all on the injury bench. Can you give us an update on that? Because I know Blake, unfortunately, we won't see for the rest of the season, and I think Seb and Ishan have got fairly similar injuries themselves.
Yeah, so first of all, really disappointing with Blake. He obviously started our championship cricket this summer, but has suffered a back injury, and that means that he's now going to be ruled out for the rest of the summer, which is a real shame, specifically after the progress we saw from Blake pre-season and through that April period as well. Still a very exciting prospect for us and bowler, and we still forget how young Blake is, and all that he's achieved already playing in the 100. He's played lots of T20 cricket for us already, so still really excited about Blake, but really important time for us and our great medical team to get this right for him, to give him the best chance of some cricket for next summer. With Seb, really a real shame. Developed a bit of a foot injury after he made his debut for us, and that ruled him out of the Kent game on Sunday and subsequently for the next month, which obviously takes him out of the England Test match against India that he'd have played in, which is a shame for Seb. But he's played some great cricket already this summer. Lots of exposure with England, with the India series so far, some first team exposure with us, and we'll get him right for our cricket towards the back end of this summer, as well as there's some more England under 19 cricket before a World Cup this winter. So lots there for Seb. I hope everyone was really excited to see him make his debut at Merchant Taylors, and the future cricketer that we've got on our hands is very exciting. And then Ishan, yeah, very similar. Unfortunately, a foot injury that he's sustained, and that will take him out for a few more weeks. But that's the life of a fast bowler. Yeah. And then alongside those, you get the standard July niggles. The boys have played a lot of cricket now, and we've had Henry Brooks, Max Holden, and a couple of others have missed some games with some niggles, which are being well managed. But it's just part and parcel of our schedule and the season that we're having at the moment.
Let's sum up our chat on the men with a quick review on the campaigns to date. Blast, I think it's probably safe to say enormous progress has been made in the way we've been playing cricket, but we don't seem to be grasping those winning moments and getting over the line. It's a case of so near but yet so far. But results could have been so different. There's 4 results I can pinpoint that, had they gone the other way, we'd be in a very different position in this campaign. But overall, Al, how's your assessment of the Blast campaign firstly?
Yeah, you're right, progress. Still not getting on the right side of results that we should be, and that there might be tight margins, but there's still margins by which we're losing, and we still need to learn to win those games of cricket, and a lot of work is going into that. 3 wins so far, 1 tie as well, and as you rightly say, a couple of close losses into the last over. So we're not far away, but we're still far away because we're not getting those wins, and that's the message that the group is still getting. The fact that we've got 6 players plus Kane picked up in the 100 shows that we're a good team. We've got some good players, and what we need to do is piece all of those individual performances together with a bit more strength from the team to get us over the line in those tight moments, and that starts tonight with the game against Surrey, which hopefully will put on a decent show for what I think is going to be a good crowd here.
Yeah, absolutely. And championship wise, Alan, it's still on. The competition remains very much in the balance, really. We've got 5 games remaining. I think we sit 27 points behind Derby. You must take a huge amount of spirit from the way we demolished Leicester inside 3 days, and against the side that were previously unbeaten. And of course that was Leas's first outing as 4-day skipper this term. So must be a lot of confidence going into the game next week at Merchant Taylors against Northants.
There is, yeah. It's been a bit of a roller coaster season, really. We started with on the right side of a draw against Lancashire here, and then we had a couple of poorer results towards the back end of the first block. We had we made a bold declaration at Northants to try and force a win in that game, and still believe, although we didn't get on the right side of that was a positive move that the team wanted to make and to demonstrate the cricket that we want to play moving forward. And then we saw obviously Dane and Leas's first combined win at Leicestershire, which was a phenomenal performance. Lots to play for in the final 5 games. 2 Kookaburra games to play, one at Merchant Taylors and one at Cheltenham, and much debate remains as I walk around the boundaries with our members around the Kookaburra ball. But 5 opportunities to win 5 games of cricket, and it should be a really, really exciting game, especially as we've got 1 game at Merchant Taylors and 2 games at Lords in September to finish off our season. So yeah, really excited by what could happen in that cricket.
Just to correct you on that, I'm not sure there is much debate about the validity of the Kookaburra Ball trial, but anyway, that's another story. Let's finish up with a sum up of the women, Al. It's been an outstanding campaign in both T20 and 50 over competitions. Currently sitting top of both groups. You must be absolutely thrilled with the way we as a side under Mark Broom have adapted to life as a Tier 2 side in this new structure.
Yeah, incredibly proud. We were obviously disappointed that not to be in Tier 1. That goes without saying, but the response that we've had from the staff and the players has been outstanding, and every time we ask for a little more commitment from our players who aren't full-time professionals, they're working or in education, every time we ask for a bit more commitment they step up in abundance, and that's been fantastic. So really, really proud of the cricket that we've played, the attitude that we've shown. To be already qualified for finals day for the T20 with 1 game left is brilliant, and hopefully a decent result at Cheltenham on Sunday will mean that we finish top and therefore play the second team who finish in the North Group. With the 50 over, still a lot of cricket to be played, but obviously after 4 games we're top of the table and have played some really, really good cricket in that as well. So yeah, very proud of the cricket we've played. Obviously a lot more to be played this summer, and I just encourage, as I always do, just everyone to come down and watch, especially Saturday the 26th of July at Northampton. The more members and supporters we can get there for finals day, the better for our girls, because it is some fantastic cricket. The standard of cricket has been brilliant and really exciting to watch, and our girls are loving it and incredibly committed. So huge credit to the players, huge credit to Mark Broom and his staff, and yeah, we hope for some more exceptional performances as we move to the end of the season.
Well, on that finals day on the 26th of July, I'll be putting out a piece on the website and across socials later to let members know that we're laying on a coach to go up to Northampton for finals day, which I think a number of staff are going up there, so it'll be lovely to have members along on that coach, and early departure from Lords, hopefully go out and see some silverware lifted, so that'll be nice. Al, just the last one from me on the women. Obviously we start life as a Tier 2 side. The next schedule review and the next kind of format review, if you like, isn't until 2029. There must be some frustration, I guess, that irrespective of how we do this year, we could finish top of both technically and win both. There's no promotion there. How does that sit with you, first and foremost, as a structure?
I think we knew what we were going into this year. We knew that Yorkshire would go to Tier 1 at the end of this year and Glamorgan to Tier 1 at the end of next year. And whether we agree or disagree with those decisions, that's already been set out. I think where I would like to see the cricket go in the future is that it just becomes straight promotion and relegation. I don't see the need to separate into 2 tiers. Women's cricket is growing. The support that we've had has been fantastic. Over 3,000 people here for a double header against Sussex in a Tier 2 game, and there were 1,400 at Kent for our Tier 2 game against them, before the men's game on Sunday. So the support is there, the players are there, the talent's there. So I would just like to see women's cricket opened up into 2 divisions, as is the men's, and let's see the best teams fight out against the best teams, time after time.
Yeah, here. Last one. Is there a risk as a Tier 2 side that we become a kind of feeding ground, if you like, for those Tier 1 sides? Because there's been a series of outstanding performances, and I won't name them individually, but as a side we've had fantastic performances with both bat and ball this year. Is there a risk, as we sit here and now in Tier 2, that those players could just be cherry picked by the Tier 1 sides, and we're left having to develop more talent to keep that funnel going and keep players coming in and keep developing?
Yeah, always a risk, but a risk actually that we need to be comfortable with, because if our players are being identified by Tier 1 teams as future professional players, then it means that they're good.
Yeah.
And we want good players playing for Middlesex. So yes, it is a risk. It's always a risk, but one that I'm actually quite happy to take, because because it means that, as I said, we've got some talented young players who are being recognised by Tier 1 sides. So if anyone does get the opportunity to be a professional cricketer before we can offer them that opportunity, then that's a brilliant reflection on our cricket and the players themselves.
Yeah, fair assessment. Alan, look, thank you ever so much for your time. It's been a pleasure catching up. Hopefully that's given members a really good insight into developments and recent ongoings within the cricket department. I dare say we'll catch up again, hopefully after the Northants final. Wouldn't that be nice if we can go out there on the 26th and get some silverware? Al, thank you very much.